She thought her life was over after a tragic accident, until a young mechanic appeared with a vision to transform her broken wheelchair into a futuristic ride. With courage, innovation, and a billionaire's support, she discovers freedom, hope, and a life she never imagined possible. This is the incredible story of Mia, Jake, and Evelyn. Like, share, and subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from. Now let's get started. Mia sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the wheelchair that had once promised freedom, but now lay in pieces. The accident had changed everything in an instant: her independence, her mobility, her daily routine. Simple tasks that were once automatic, like moving around her small Seattle apartment or visiting her favorite coffee shop, now felt impossible. She traced her fingers over the scratched and dented metal frame, feeling a mix of frustration and sadness. The wheelchair, once a lifeline, now seemed like a symbol of her limitations, and Mia couldn't help but wonder if she would ever feel normal again. Her father had tried to help, but work and responsibilities kept him busy. Mia felt alone in her struggle, isolated from friends who didn't fully understand her new reality. Then one afternoon, scrolling through social media for distraction, she stumbled across a video of a young mechanic named Jake who had transformed ordinary machines into incredible inventions. His workshop, filled with gadgets, wires, and half-built vehicles, looked like a playground for an engineer. Something in his eyes, the passion and determination, struck a chord with Mia. Maybe, just maybe, he could help her too. Mia sent a hesitant message explaining her situation. To her surprise, Jake responded immediately, offering to meet at his garage. She arrived the next day, nerves buzzing, her wheelchair clunky and awkward beside her. Jake, young and enthusiastic, greeted her warmly. His hands were calloused from years of tinkering, but his smile was gentle. "Don't worry," he said, examining the wheelchair. "I've fixed worse than this. We're going to make it amazing." For the first time in months, Mia felt a spark of hope. Perhaps independence wasn't entirely lost after all. Jake started by taking the wheelchair apart, piece by piece. He explained each modification with patience, showing Mia how motors worked, how sensors could detect obstacles, and how batteries could be optimized for speed and efficiency. Mia watched closely, fascinated, absorbing every detail. It wasn't just about repairing her wheelchair. It was about reimagining it entirely. Jake encouraged her to voice her dreams, what she wanted to do that her current wheelchair couldn't allow. "Tell me what freedom looks like to you," he said. Mia imagined gliding through the park without struggling, climbing ramps with ease, even moving through narrow spaces effortlessly. The days blurred together as Jake worked tirelessly. Sparks flew, tools clanged, and the smell of oil and metal filled the air. Mia assisted when she could, learning about circuits and engines, sometimes just observing while Jake meticulously measured components and calibrated motors. Slowly, the wheelchair began to take on a new form. Wires were reorganized, panels replaced, and new technology integrated. Mia felt a strange mix of awe and disbelief. Her old wheelchair was disappearing, transforming into something she had only seen in futuristic movies. Outside, the city continued its usual rhythm. Rain drizzled on the streets of Seattle, creating a reflective sheen that made the city glow. Inside the garage, Mia and Jake were in their own world. They laughed when something went wrong, celebrated small victories, and brainstormed solutions for tricky, mechanical problems. Jake had a way of making the impossible feel achievable. Mia felt her confidence returning piece by piece. With every modification, the wheelchair became more than a machine. It became a symbol of her resilience, a testament to what was possible when determination met ingenuity. As the week progressed, Jake introduced smart features. Voice commands allowed Mia to move without manual control. Sensors detected obstacles before collisions, and the frame itself was reinforced to handle rough terrain. Each addition made Mia's excitement grow. She tested it cautiously at first, moving across the garage floor, then onto the driveway. The wheelchair responded smoothly, gliding over cracks in the pavement effortlessly. For the first time since her accident, Mia felt like she could move freely again. Her smile, bright and unburdened, mirrored the joy she hadn't felt in months. The transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional. Mia began to dream again, imagining trips to the park, visits to her favorite cafe, even short road trips with friends. She realized that while the accident had limited her body, it had not broken her spirit. Jake's ingenuity gave her hope, but it was her courage and determination that made the change meaningful. Together, they weren't just fixing a wheelchair. They were rewriting what mobility could mean for her life. Each new feature reflected her desires, her dreams, and her need for independence. One rainy afternoon, as the final modifications were completed, Mia wheeled outside to test her new ride fully. The city streets glistened from the drizzle, and she felt the wheelchair respond seamlessly to her commands. It climbed ramps with ease, glided over uneven sidewalks, and even handled small stairs with a smooth, mechanical lift. Her heart raced with exhilaration. Neighbors peeked curiously, amazed by the sleek, futuristic design. For Mia, it wasn't just about technology. It was about reclaiming her freedom, her confidence, and her life. She laughed, the sound pure and joyous, as she navigated the streets she had once thought were beyond her reach. By the end of that first week, the wheelchair was no longer a symbol of limitation, but of transformation. Mia looked at Jake with gratitude, realizing that this young mechanic had done more than repair a machine. He had restored her independence. In the heart of Seattle, amid rain and city lights, a simple garage had become a place of miracles. Mia's journey was just beginning, and the wheelchair, once broken, now promised adventure, hope, and a future filled with possibility. Together, they had turned despair into ingenuity, fear into excitement, and limitation into boundless potential. Mia could hardly contain her excitement as Jake wheeled the transformed chair out of the garage for the first full test. The wheelchair moved smoothly over the pavement, gliding with a precision she had never experienced before. The voice command feature worked flawlessly, responding to her instructions instantly. Even small bumps in the sidewalk were no longer obstacles, and ramps were handled with ease. Jake's face mirrored her excitement, his hands hovering over the controls to make minor adjustments. They paused at the corner of the street, Mia's heart racing with anticipation. Realizing that the chair was more than a vehicle, it was a ticket to freedom she had only dreamed about. Word of Jake's invention had already started spreading. Evelyn Brooks, a 30-year-old billionaire known for her tech investments and philanthropic work in accessibility, had heard about the project from a mutual contact. Intrigued, she decided to visit the garage and see the wheelchair for herself. When she arrived, her presence brought a new energy to the space. Dressed impeccably yet casually, Evelyn exuded confidence and authority. Mia felt nervous but also inspired. Here was someone who had the means to make this invention truly change lives. Evelyn's sharp eyes scanned the chair and then landed on Mia, as if silently acknowledging her courage and determination. Jake gave Evelyn a full demonstration. The wheelchair moved across uneven terrain, responded instantly to Mia's commands, and even executed a few stunts he had programmed, turning, climbing small steps, and stabilizing itself automatically. Evelyn's eyebrows raised in astonishment. "This is incredible," she said, her voice a mix of admiration and excitement. "You've not only created mobility, but empowerment." Mia beamed, realizing that her struggle and Jake's ingenuity were finally being recognized. Evelyn immediately began discussing possibilities, talking about scaling the technology, funding research, and bringing this innovation to people nationwide who had been limited by traditional mobility devices. They decided to take the wheelchair for a full city test. Mia, with Jake guiding her through minor adjustments, navigated the streets of downtown Seattle. Rain had left the roads wet, but the chair handled it effortlessly. Passers-by stopped to watch, some taking pictures, others asking questions. Mia felt like a pioneer exploring a new world, her confidence growing with each passing block. Evelyn followed closely in her luxury SUV, taking notes and asking technical questions. For Mia, the city no longer felt intimidating. It felt like a playground. Every sidewalk, park path and ramp became an opportunity to explore and experience freedom she had lost after her accident. Jake demonstrated some of the chair's more advanced features. The voice-activated navigation system could plot routes and avoid obstacles in real time. Sensors measured slopes and adjusted speed accordingly. Small drones integrated into the chair could capture her journey from above, providing a bird's-eye perspective. Mia's laughter filled the streets as she tested each feature, feeling empowered and alive. Evelyn watched intently, clearly impressed with Jake's attention to detail and Mia's natural ability to adapt. "This has potential beyond imagination," Evelyn remarked. "We need to bring this to people who need it most, starting today." Over the next few days, Evelyn worked with Jake to draft a plan for mass production. They visited local hospitals, rehabilitation centers, and schools for people with disabilities to gather insights. Mia accompanied them, sharing her first-hand experience and the challenges she had faced. Her perspective became invaluable, guiding the design process and ensuring that each feature would truly benefit users. They debated and brainstormed, combining Jake's technical genius with Evelyn's business acumen and Mia's lived experience. Slowly, the futuristic wheelchair evolved from a personal project into a prototype for widespread change, something that could redefine mobility for thousands of people across the country. Despite the excitement, there were challenges. Some features needed fine-tuning to handle different terrains. Battery life required optimization, and software glitches occasionally interrupted performance. Jake worked late into the night, fueled by determination and the knowledge that their invention could change lives. Mia stayed close, assisting with testing and offering feedback, while Evelyn coordinated potential investors and media coverage. Every obstacle they faced became a lesson, pushing them to innovate further. The garage, once a humble workspace, had transformed into a bustling hub of creativity. Collaboration and problem-solving all centered around the vision of giving mobility back to those who had lost it. Finally, after weeks of adjustments, the wheelchair was ready for its public unveiling. Evelyn arranged a media event at a local tech expo, inviting journalists, investors, and members of the disabled community. Mia, nervous but confident, demonstrated the wheelchair's capabilities in front of a live audience. Cameras captured her navigating ramps, climbing steps, and maneuvering through crowded spaces effortlessly. The crowd erupted in applause, impressed not just by the technology, but by Mia's courage and poise. Evelyn smiled knowingly, recognizing that this moment marked the beginning of a movement, one that could redefine accessibility and inspire countless people. The event garnered widespread media attention, with news outlets highlighting the collaboration between the young mechanic, the determined girl, and the visionary billionaire. Social media buzzed with excitement, sharing videos of Mia in her futuristic wheelchair navigating the streets. Evelyn's investment ensured that production would scale quickly, making the technology available to people nationwide. Mia felt proud, realizing that her journey from a broken wheelchair to this revolutionary ride was inspiring others. Jake's creativity, her resilience, and Evelyn's vision had combined to create something extraordinary, a tool that empowered people and changed perceptions about mobility. As the day ended, Mia, Jake, and Evelyn reflected on how far they had come. The wheelchair had evolved from a broken device into a symbol of innovation, hope, and independence. Mia felt exhilarated as she wheeled through the garage, now fully accustomed to her futuristic ride. Evelyn outlined plans for future iterations, improvements, and community outreach programs. Jake already brainstormed new designs and features, eager to push the limits of technology further. Together, the three had not only transformed a machine, but also lives, proving that determination, ingenuity, and collaboration could overcome even the most daunting obstacles. Mia could hardly believe how far she had come. From staring at her broken wheelchair in despair to navigating the streets of Seattle in a futuristic ride, her life had transformed completely. The media attention, Evelyn's investment, and Jake's relentless innovation had created something far bigger than any of them had imagined. Mia had become more than a beneficiary of technology. She was a symbol of hope for countless people who had faced similar challenges. Every time she demonstrated the wheelchair, she felt a sense of pride and empowerment, knowing her story was inspiring others to believe in themselves. Jake continued refining the wheelchair's design, taking feedback from users nationwide. He incorporated adjustable features for different body types, terrain-specific modes, and even AI-assisted navigation. Mia participated actively, sharing her experiences to ensure every modification improved accessibility. Evelyn managed logistics, partnerships, and funding, working tirelessly to bring the technology to hospitals, rehabilitation centers, and families across the United States. Their collaboration was seamless, each person playing a unique role that amplified the impact of their work. The wheelchair was no longer just a personal achievement. It had become a revolutionary device poised to redefine mobility and independence for thousands. The team decided to launch a national awareness campaign. Mia visited schools, community centers, and tech expos, demonstrating her wheelchair's capabilities and sharing her journey. People were captivated by her courage, and the futuristic design of the wheelchair drew crowds everywhere she went. Evelyn and Jake showcased the technology at conventions and conferences, highlighting its potential to change lives. Together, they emphasized the importance of combining innovation with empathy, showing how technology could truly serve humanity. Every demonstration reminded Mia why she had fought so hard to regain her independence, and the feedback she received fueled her determination to continue spreading awareness. Families of disabled children reached out, inspired by Mia's story. Parents shared their struggles, asking how the technology could help their loved ones. Hospitals requested trials for patients, while tech enthusiasts offered to collaborate on future enhancements. Mia's heart swelled as she realized her experience had become a catalyst for change. She felt a deep sense of purpose, knowing that her accident, once a source of limitation, had led to something transformative. The wheelchair was no longer just her personal ride. It had become a movement, empowering individuals to reclaim freedom and inspiring a generation of innovators to create solutions that truly mattered. Jake's garage evolved into a full-fledged innovation lab. Engineers, designers, and interns joined the team, eager to contribute. Evelyn's investment allowed them to scale production, source advanced materials, and implement rigorous safety standards. Mia became an ambassador, traveling with the team to introduce the wheelchair to communities nationwide. She shared tips, guided users, and participated in workshops, showing others how technology and determination could overcome physical limitations. Each new interaction reminded her of the journey that began with a broken wheelchair in a quiet Seattle garage. The scope of their impact grew exponentially, touching lives in ways none of them could have predicted. The wheelchair itself continued to evolve. New models featured solar-powered batteries, enhanced AI for predictive movement, and customizable controls for users with different abilities. Mia was involved in every stage, providing feedback to ensure it met practical needs. Evelyn worked with manufacturers to ensure affordability without compromising quality, aiming to make mobility accessible to as many people as possible. Jake explored new features like remote monitoring and emergency assistance, ensuring safety alongside freedom. The trio's shared vision became a blueprint for socially conscious technological innovation, blending creativity, philanthropy, and lived experience into something extraordinary. Mia's story gained national recognition. She appeared on news programs, podcasts, and online platforms, inspiring audiences with her resilience and optimism. Evelyn's reputation as a forward-thinking investor grew, while Jake gained recognition as a mechanical genius dedicated to changing lives. Together, they demonstrated that collaboration between visionaries and those with lived experience could produce solutions that were both practical and groundbreaking. Each interview reinforced Mia's mission to show the world that limitations could be overcome, that technology could empower, and that hope was a powerful force capable of transforming challenges into opportunities. Community response was overwhelming. Schools, nonprofits, and disability advocacy groups requested partnerships. Mia helped organize workshops and events, teaching users how to maximize the wheelchair's potential. Families reported renewed independence and joy in their loved ones, praising the innovation for transforming everyday life. The wheelchair became more than a machine. It became a symbol of possibility. Mia often reflected on the journey, from despair to empowerment, realizing that her courage, Jake's creativity, and Evelyn's resources had converged to create something truly life-changing. Their work was now making tangible differences in homes, schools, and cities across the country. As production ramped up, the team faced logistical challenges, but overcame them with determination. Supply chains were secured, quality control measures implemented, and distribution networks established. Mia traveled to oversee launches, ensuring that each user received not just a wheelchair, but guidance and support. Evelyn coordinated media campaigns to raise awareness, while Jake continued innovating on new designs. The project became a national initiative, blending technology, accessibility, and inspiration. Mia's laughter and excitement echoed wherever she went, a reminder that perseverance and teamwork could turn even the smallest spark of hope into a nationwide movement. By the end of the year, thousands of people had benefited from the wheelchair. Mia's journey had gone from personal struggle to national impact. Families expressed gratitude, communities celebrated accessibility, and media highlighted the story as a triumph of ingenuity and courage. Jake continued refining designs, while Evelyn ensured sustainability and expansion. Mia reflected on how a single act of determination, reaching out for help, believing in innovation, had transformed not just her life, but the lives of countless others. The wheelchair, once broken, had become a beacon of hope, proving that resilience, creativity, and collaboration could change the world.